So if you've been feeling a lack of spark, I'll call it, in your life right now, maybe it's a lack of motivation, maybe you just feel really drained and tired and you're not sure why. We all know that winter is a time where we do rest and recharge more. We don't feel like doing things as much as maybe in the summer when we're out and about. But if you've been feeling especially like you're missing something, you're missing, like you just need like a kick in the butt or a fire to light under you and you just can't find it, then this video is for you. I'm going to give you 5 ways to reignite that spark or that fire. Whether this is in relationship to just your overall life, your relationship, maybe there's a spark missing there, or something, passion missing there, career, spiritual journey, whatever. If you just feel kind of flat, I'll put it that way. That's a good way of putting it. Just flat, dull, where you need like, you want it, but you don't know how to get it. So I'm going to get into that. First, let's talk about fire, okay? And the fire within you. If you've seen some of my other videos, I've done a lot on fire elements and all the 5 elements. If you're not familiar with the 5 elements, the Taoist 5 elements, I suggest you check out some of my other videos. I've done a lot on breaking each of the elements down, but just to give you, like I always do, a little intro, we have all 5 elements out in nature: fire, earth, metal, water, wood, speaking from ancient Taoism, and all 5 elements within us, within our personalities, connected to different organ systems in our bodies, connected to things like colors, seasons, foods, even flavors, all kinds of things. So check out some of those other videos so you can gain a better understanding. But we're going to talk about fire because everybody has heard of fire element probably. And fire element, if you've seen me talk about fire element, fire has a lot of, it's the most yang element. So it has to do with the season of summer, vitality, play, spontaneity. It is, from a personality standpoint, fire personality is very bubbly and playful, and that person who you want to be around is very fun, or maybe you don't want to be around them because they're too all over the place. But the fire within you gives you that spark, gives you that ignition key. Okay, gives you that vitality to do things that are spontaneous, to take on creativity in your life and all the fun stuff and the playful side of you, okay? But I'm going to talk about something, because usually when we're feeling drained or we're feeling a lack of motivation in our lives, it may not necessarily be all fire element. It could be something called kidney fire. So you always have this connection between water and fire. Fire is the most yang, water is the most yin. So if you think of, let's use an analogy of like a cauldron, and the cauldron is like the kidney essence, I guess, and the kidney fire where it steams up and it connects with the fire above. So fire is more the cosmic self, water is the more biological, the essence, your constitution backup battery. So you always need to have this connection. So when one is cut off from the other, say fire is more the mental emotional side connected to the heart, and then water is more the biological side connected to the physical body. You're always going to have, if something's cut off between water and fire, you're going to have either issues with mental emotional, spiritual, or issues with physically being drained, okay? And we all know that one affects the other. So if you're having physical problems, it affects the mind. If you're having mental emotional, it affects you on a physical level. So that's kind of the gist of this connection. So that's why we're talking, when you're talking about being really a lack of motivation or will in your life, feeling very flat, it could be more of the draining effect of the kidneys in your constitution. So that's where we're going to get into 5 things to help you kind of reignite either the fire element and the water element together to work as a unit. Number 1. Locate your clutter, or stop taking on other people's clutter. We know that emotions can be addictive. We know that we can become attached to other people's emotions, to other people's clutter, to baggage. So you have to have an awareness and really locate where the clutter is in your life. Is it more on a mental emotional level? Is it on like a relationship level, career level? Is it more on a physical level, okay, where maybe your house is cluttered? So a cluttered mind can really drain us and drain our energy. And sometimes we don't realize how cluttered we have become. So it's either taking on other people's clutter, or it's just something that is cluttered within you that you can't let go of, something again in your house, physical environment that is just draining your energy. This is really, really important, and a lot of people don't recognize that they're taking on a lot of other people's stuff that's not their own, even other people's trauma that's not their own. So I know this is kind of a general thing, but I want you to take inventory and really think about this. Where in your life, or what in your life is cluttering you? What in your life, or maybe you attach to, are you attached to either a person, a thing, an idea, maybe an expectation of yourself? These can all weigh you down and little by little drain that kidney energy and drain the fire from within you. Number 2, add actual fire to your life. So what I mean by this, fireplace, let's talk feng shui, for example. Fireplaces, light some candles, pictures of fireplaces, put on the Yule log, right? Wear more bright colors, wear more red. I'll give you a funny example. Like, I'm wearing red today, but it's a dark red, which shows that I'm not comfortable wearing bright colors to bring out, because I tend to be more on the fire deficient side. I'm more of a metal, water personality type. So I'm always going, it's funny if you look at how people dress, I'm always gonna, like, this is as fiery as I get, okay? A dark red, because I'm still holding on to my metal and my watery side, which tends to be, water has like the dark blues and the dark blacks. So shades of color really matter. So if I wanted to go outside my comfort zone and really try to tap into my fire more, I would wear a bright red shirt, bright orange, maybe a like leopard print design, which is going way out of my comfort zone. So that's a way that maybe if any kind of colors offend you, to add more fire, to add in what you're lacking or what you're deficient in. Also, like I said, adding candles or pictures of going around a fireplace and anything like that. If you add more of the element, into your orbit, this is going to help boost it for you. Number 3, and this is something that's not talked about a lot, is stop feeding false fire. And you may ask, what is false fire? So if we're lacking in vitality or motivation, what do? We may try to pick up on caffeine, drink alcohol sometimes, look for things external of us. Some people do drugs to try and get that high, to try and get that fiery feeling, like that vitality within us. Maybe we're seeking out relationships that give us that high, that serotonin boost. You have to understand this is technically false fire. So it's not fire that's coming from within you, from like the kidney fire. It's looking for artificial means, or looking for things on the external to give you more fire. So you have to stop feeding false fire, because what happens when you feed false fire, say drinking a lot of caffeine or energy drinks, right, give you that little bit of boost. When it wears off, you go into kind of like a withdrawal mode and you dip back down. And often you may dip back, if this is your default, you dip down even lower. This goes a lot for people who take substances or drugs or even alcohol. We know is a depressant actually, but at first it feels like it gives you that more bubbly personality. It makes you more sociable and you feel like you have more fire, right? When in actuality, it's a false fire and it's not a true fire. So instead of feeding false fire, try to get the fire from within. Which means supplying yourself with eating nourishing foods, making sure you're sleeping enough, resting enough, and kind of staying away from things that give you maybe that artificial means, because you're going to dip back down. So eat more like bitter greens and dark chocolate, and these are foods that correspond to the fire element. Even coffee in some cases, just bitter flavored stuff will help. But make sure you're nourishing, you're not eating enough calories, eating a balanced diet of your macronutrients, sleeping, resting enough, all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you're going to just keep depleting yourself if you keep hopping yourself up on caffeine. Number 4, get your creative juices on. So I know sometimes it can be hard when we're lacking motivation, we're lacking the will to do stuff, to get up and go, to like do something fun because we just don't have any fire within us, right? But what I'm talking about is clicking on maybe a new type. So fire is about spontaneity, right? So again, going outside your comfort zone a little bit, maybe putting on dance music or putting on music that maybe you don't listen to, classical or something, coloring, doodling, things that you don't normally do. If you can get yourself to do just a little bit, bringing out that inner child, that inner playful side, which is connected to your fire, this is all going to help, okay? Music is one of the best ways that I find to kind of lift the spirit up. Like I said, something like dance music or electronic music has that beat to it that really does something internally. It connects to the heart, especially if you can connect on like an emotional level to say lyrics. So that's an easy way to kind of boost that fire within you when you're feeling down, okay? Because all you have to do is press play, okay? So you may not want to paint a picture or doodle or tap into your creativity, but that's an easy way. Music is an easy way to do it, and listening to music that's outside of your comfort zone that maybe you don't often listen to will help. And last but not least, number 5, way to reignite that spark or that fire within you is none other than get more sun. I know that sounds common sense, but get more sun. So in ancient Taoism, Chinese medicine, there's something called Ling, and Ling is like this magic thing. It connects to the sun, the moon, the stars. It's when you look out at night at the stars and you have this awe moment, right? When you look at something, a beautiful landscape, and you have this awe moment, what does that do? It connects to your heart. It expands you. You feel something. You feel this little bit of magic, right? When the first snowfall, where everything's glistening and clean and quiet, you have this moment of just not only clarity, but just feeling like expansive. Pay attention to that. So the sun is a good way, getting more sun. A lot of people, especially in the Northeast, were vitamin D deficient, sun deficient, but just getting outside, even the cold months, sitting by a window, soaking up the sun, okay? It's these little things that can help. Okay. Again, feng shui, being in a room, having more sunlight come into your room, okay, is going to just lift you up. Because if you're always in a dark place, it's going to affect you, okay? It's like wearing the dark colors. It's going to affect you. So you want to brighten everything up, because that is what fire is about. So these are just some tips. I hope you found them helpful. Again, it's about looking at the things in your life that are sucking you dry a little bit or draining you. Maybe it's related to your diet or feeding that false fire, or maybe it's related to your environment, okay? And what you see in your environment every day, and the colors you see, and all kinds of stuff. So let me know if you like this video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. I put out new videos every single week for you on all kinds of cool topics, and hope are cool topics, and truly appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.